Now, not everyone is nearly so lucky as my friend Ian. Ian has a support network that helps him get groceries, get to appointments, get to work, do the things that he needs to do. A lot of folks, though, don't have that support network. They're reliant on RTD and on their own ingenuity to get them where they need to go. I'm standing at the corner of Colfax and Osage, and I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail here in a second just what this RTD stop looks like. You can see that there's a pathway up to the RTD stop itself, but as we come in a little bit closer, you can see that there's a barrier of snow and slush and goo that would prevent anyone in a wheelchair from being able to get onto the bus. This snow and slush and ice barrier does in fact extend above the level of the sidewalk, which would prevent a bus from being able to lower its wheelchair on-ramp. The sidewalk leading up to that bus stop has many of the same problems as some of the ones in Ian's area. It is still mostly a tracked down pedestrian path. This is the next bus stop heading eastward on Colfax. It's just about at Lipan and Colfax, right across the street from the light rail station for Colfax at Auraria. And as you can see, the pathways along the sidewalk are very narrow here. But what's even more concerning is, again, we have a trail to the bus stop that is not wide enough for folks to navigate. It's simply too small for someone in a chair to be able to get over onto a bus, or even for someone who's using a walker or any other sort of mobility aid to be able to safely make it onto an RTD bus. Now, I'm still heading eastward on Colfax, but I paused for just a moment here at the intersection with Spear to take a look at this curb cut. This is absolutely impassable. It's tricky to see what these obstacles look like when all I can give you to look at is dirty white on dirty white. But as you can see a little bit, this area right here is a large clump of very tall ice that would be virtually impassable. And on up there, you have another large chunk of ice and snow that would make things completely impassable for anybody really, except for someone on foot. This is the second obstacle I was talking about, and I want to see if putting my foot down can give you any perspective on exactly how high up that is. So here's the height of that ice bump. It's pretty significant. Here's the actual bus stop. Now, we saw Ian the other day trying to get through obstacles a great deal less significant than this. This is actually completely snowed over and iced over. This, incidentally, as we keep moving east along Colfax, is the stop closest to the U.S. Mint. It's right where 13th and Delaware come into Colfax. This is the intersection where Glenarm, Fox, and Colfax come together. You can see the traffic heading east on Colfax right there now. What I wanted to show you here is that this curb cut right here is lovely. It's in great shape. It's a big wide curb cut. It's been completely cleaned off. But then we have this snowbank here, and there is no curb cut on this side. So it would be impossible for someone to go around this on the street. Even if they could, it would be dangerous, but it would be impossible for them to get back up onto the sidewalk once they did that. I'm approaching the Pepsi Center now, another important area of commerce and congregation in Denver, and I wanted to show you this corner. As I'm approaching, this is Spear and Auraria, and this is the curb cut. As you can see behind me, this largish snowbank is actually where the curb cut should be. So clearly that's another impassable area. This is the other corner of Spear and Auraria, if you will. The Denver Fire Station number 6 is visible over there, so that gives you some orientation. The Pepsi Center itself looks great. Sidewalks are cleared, curb cuts are cleared, it's perfectly accessible. But I've come to the first set of curb cuts outside of the Pepsi Center. I'm right here at 9th and Auraria. The Pepsi Center's directly behind me. And again, we've got snow and ice-clogged curb cuts. Reassessing the situation here at 9th and Auraria, I'm not actually sure how I'm going to get across the street.